Right. So, so this is the final video, but this really looks at this business of steady state. And this is how the question will look. It says the first batch of a new product took 20 hours to produce. The first batch took 20 hours to produce. So I know what my A is. My A is equal to 20 hours. And I know the learning rate. The learning rate is 90%. So my B is equal to the log of 0.9 divided by the log of 2. So you can sort of try and work those out and just keep them. And so work this one out, sorry. And it says if the learning rate ceases after 72 batches. So what does that mean? This means that all subsequent batches take the same time as the 72nd batch. So in exactly how you saw me earlier on in the question, try and find out the time it took to make the 72nd batch, which was to find the total time for the 71st batch and the total time for the 72nd batch. Then once I find that time, I just apply that to every batch after batch 72. Right? So it doesn't matter what anyone tells me. Someone says, I know how long, I know it's the same time to make the 73rd and the 74th and the 75th, so I can manipulate my answers. It doesn't matter if you ask me how long does it take to make batch 73 to 100. Well, I know how long it takes to make each of these batches. I just multiply it by, if you like, the 18 batches, or the 22 batches, 28 batches that are left to get to 100. I think it's that principle really of just understanding what the question is asking. So if the learning effect ceases, so let's do it, why not? So that means the average time, let's find the average time it takes to make the first 71 batches, and that would have been y is equal to A is equal to 20, times 71 raised to the power of B. And remember that B again is equal to log of 0.9 divided by the log of 2. So the question is, what is that? So let's just do that here. And let me get my calculator out again. Calculator here. So yeah. So what are we saying here? So looking at this here, the log of 0.9. So let's just do again. We can see the 0.9. In fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like the full way. So I'm going to keep it all in one. So 0.9 log. Close that bracket, divide that by, open the bracket here, 2 log, close the bracket, and that's equal to, that's 0.152, yes? So I'm going to store that in my memory, there, memory add, and then literally what I now want to do is say 71 raised to this thing. So 71 raised to memory recall, that, and that gives me 0.52, and I'm just going to keep doing everything here on this because just to keep everything as a whole. So I have that 71 raised to the power of B as this thing here, 0.523, and I'm going to multiply that by 20, of course, because that's the thing that it wants, and therefore I find out that my average time is 10.462. I'm just going to minimize this. Hopefully I can find it. I never seem to be able to find it. So that means that Y is equal to 10.462, right? 10.462. So therefore, the total time for 71 units must be, of course, 10.462 times 71. So let me just kind of see if I can come out of this and go back to my calculator and see if I can find, oh, I think I know. Here it is. That's what it was. Oh, there it is. That's where all my calculators have been hiding. Right. And then I have this times 71, and I have here a total of 742.83. So 742.83. That's the total time it takes to make 71. I need to do the same thing for 72. Literally the same thing. So I'm going to come out of this again, keep that, come back out here, and literally apply the same principles to what I've just done. And I'm going to see if I can just delete all of this because I have the memory already, don't I? Let me just go CE. Is it oh, it's perfect. It's in there. Okay, great. So I'm just going to delete that and just how do I get rid of that? Okay, so literally doing exactly the same thing. And I'm just going to go 72 raised to the power of memory recall, right? Because I'm trying to find it for 72 equals that. And then I now know what 72 raised to the power of this thing is. I'm doing it for 72 now, right? That's my focus. And then I now have this times, of course, times 20, of course. And there we are. And so now my average time is 10.44, not so far off there, 10.44022. And then, of course, that's the average time to make 72 units. And I'm going to multiply that, of course, by 72 to get the total time for 72 units. And I have 751.65. So 751.65, and I had here 742.83. So I'm just going to find the time it takes to make the 72nd unit. So I'm just going to do it here, minus, of course, 742.83. And I have here 8 minutes, 8.865. And this is the time it takes to make this 72nd unit. I'm just going to round it up to 8.86, right? I'll just kind of close this and come out here, 8.86. So it's taking basically 8.86 minutes to make the 72nd unit. And really the question is, how long does it take to make a grand total of 100 batches? Well, I know the time it takes to make the first 72 batches, the total time. I think it was 7. Oh, I'll just add that. Let me just find that out again. So that was 742.83 plus 8.8. Yes, so this was yes, 20. So let's say 751. I forget. I can go and check. But 751 is the total time it takes to make the first 72 batches. And I know it takes 8.8 minutes to make 8.86 minutes to make the next. I mean, every single batch from now on, right? So I have 28 more batches. Sorry. 28 more batches to get to 100. So 8.86 times 28 is the time it takes to make the next 28 batches. So the first 28 batches, 751. The next 28 batches, so I'm sure you can see where I'm going now, times 28, 248. And therefore, the total time is a grand total, must be 248.08 plus the time, the 751, so 248. Let me see if that calculator would have kept that information there, and I can still use that there. See if it has it there. See what happened here. So that was 751. So 751, 752. So I'm just going to clear that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I know what I'm looking for. 752 plus 248, and so the grand total is, whoa, look at that, beautiful, 1,000 hours. And that's how we play with that, and that's how you do that, right? And that's the extreme. So we have gone through the spectrum of all the potential questions you can get. Now it's a matter of really just plowing through the quiz questions, the MCQs, and doing as much as you can. Thank you.